sacrifices for success, there comes a time in everyone's life when everything falls apart. When dreams that once felt so real suddenly shatter like glass, and all you can see around you are the pieces of what used to be your life. In those moments, it's easy to believe that you are broken beyond repair, that there's nothing left inside you worth saving. I know that feeling, the feeling of lying in bed, surrounded by silence, asking, why me? But here's what I've learned through my journey: you are not broken. You are beautifully unfinished. When life breaks you, it's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you get to rebuild yourself, stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than ever before. The cracks you carry are not flaws, they are proof that you have survived. They are lines of strength, not weakness. People will look at you and see your scars. They will whisper about your pain, your losses, your failures, but let them, because they are only seeing the surface. What they cannot see is the courage it took to wake up and face another day. What they cannot see is the silent battle you fight inside, the war between despair and determination. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still standing, still trying. That is not brokenness. That is bravery. I often say, broken crayons still color, and it's true. Even when life bends you, even when you lose parts of yourself you thought you could never live without, you can still bring color to the world. You can still paint hope on the blank canvas of your life. Because being unfinished means there is still more to come. There are still dreams to chase, still hearts to touch, still stories to tell. Don't let the world convince you that you need to be perfect to be worthy. The truth is, perfection is lifeless. It's the imperfections that make us human, that make us relatable, that make us real. The most beautiful souls are not the ones who have never fallen, but the ones who fell, broke, healed, and chose to rise again with grace. Every scar on your body and every wound in your heart is a medal of honor, a testament that you were tested and you refused to give up. You may have lost something along the way, your health, your dreams, your old self, but what you've gained is something much more powerful: perspective. You've learned that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. So, when you look at yourself in the mirror and see those scars, don't hide them. Don't wish them away. Smile at them. Because they tell your story. A story of resilience, a story of strength, a story of someone who refused to let pain define them. You are not a victim of life, you are a victor in progress. Pain, it's something we all know, yet it feels so personal when it arrives. It knocks on your door uninvited, sits in your chest like a heavy stone, and refuses to leave. It changes the way you see yourself, the way you see life, the way you see the world. For a long time, I thought pain was my enemy. I thought it came to destroy me. But I was wrong. Pain didn't come to break me, it came to awaken me. There was a time when I would lie still, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I would ever smile again. I used to ask, what did I do to deserve this? But life, in its mysterious way, had a lesson hidden inside that question. It wasn't about deserving or not deserving. It was about becoming. The truth is, pain changes you. But you get to decide how. It can make you bitter, or it can make you better. It can harden your heart, or it can soften it. It can make you close your eyes to life, or it can help you truly see. And I chose to see. I began to realize that pain is not a punishment, it's a teacher. It's the fire that burns away illusions and shows you what really matters. It's the voice that whispers, you are stronger than you think. Every tear you shed is not a sign of weakness. It's evidence that you care, that you feel, that you're alive. And being alive is the greatest gift of all. When you begin to transform your pain into purpose, you stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. You stop running from your wounds and start using them as wings. You begin to understand that maybe your story isn't just about you. Maybe it's meant to help someone else. Maybe your pain was the bridge you had to cross so that others could find their way. I remember the first time I shared my story publicly. My hands trembled, my voice shook. I was afraid of being seen, afraid of being judged. But afterward, a young woman came up to me with tears in her eyes and said, you made me believe I can survive too. That's when I realized my pain had found its purpose. It was no longer just mine. It had become a message of hope. When you give meaning to your pain, it loses its power to destroy you. You start to see it as a part of your evolution, not your end. The cracks that once made you feel broken begin to let light in. And that light becomes your strength, your compassion, your empathy. So if you're hurting right now, don't hide it. Don't bury it. Sit with it, learn from it, and then use it. Let your wounds remind you that you survived. Let your scars become stories that heal others. Because sometimes, the things that break us are the very things that build us. And pain, when embraced with courage, has the power to turn ordinary lives into extraordinary. For the longest time, I thought love was something that came from others. From family, from friends, from society, from the world. I thought love was something you earned by being perfect, by pleasing everyone, by fitting into expectations. I tried so hard to be the version of me that others wanted to see. The one who smiled when she was breaking, the one who said, "I'm fine," when her soul was crying for help. But no matter how much love I tried to gain from the world, I always felt empty inside. And then one day I realized why. Because I had never learned to love myself. I was seeking validation from everyone except the one person who needed it the most, me. Loving yourself unconditionally is not about arrogance or ego, it's about acceptance. It's about looking at yourself, your flaws, your scars, your past, and saying, "I am enough." It's about understanding that self-love is not a destination, it's a daily practice. Some days you'll look in the mirror and smile. Other days you'll struggle to even face your reflection. But every day, you have to remind yourself that you are worthy. Not because of what you've achieved, but because you exist. I remember the day I saw my reflection for the first time after my accident. I didn't recognize the woman staring back at me. I saw scars where there used to be smooth skin, pain where there used to be confidence. I wanted to look away, but I didn't. I kept looking until I saw not what I had lost, but what I had gained: strength, courage, resilience. That day, I made a promise to myself. I will never let society's definition of beauty make me forget my own worth. Self-love means embracing yourself as a whole, the light and the darkness, the joy and the pain. It's about forgiving yourself for the mistakes you've made and honoring the lessons they brought. It's about being kind to yourself when the world isn't, because how you treat yourself sets the tone for how others will treat you. When you love yourself, you stop begging for love from places that can't give it. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for being who you are. You learn to stand tall, to speak gently to yourself, to celebrate small victories, and to protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. People will tell you to be humble, but humility doesn't mean hating yourself. It means knowing your worth without needing to prove it. When you love yourself fully, you don't become selfish, you become whole. And from that wholeness, you can finally give real love to others. Not out of emptiness, but out of abundance. So, look at yourself not with judgment, but with grace. The person you are becoming deserves your compassion. You don't need to be flawless to be worthy of love. You just need to be real, to be kind, to be you. Because the most beautiful relationship you will ever have is the one you build with yourself. The one that says, even on your darkest days, "I still choose you. I still believe in you. I still love you." There comes a moment in every journey when you realize that your story was never meant to stay within you. The struggles you've faced, the tears you've shed, the storms you've survived, they were all preparing you for something bigger than yourself. Pain, when transformed, becomes light, and that light is not meant to be hidden. It's meant to be shared. For the longest time, I thought strength was about never needing anyone, about fighting my battles alone. But I've learned that true strength is not isolation, it's connection. It's the courage to stand up, not only for yourself but for others who cannot yet stand. It's choosing to be a source of hope when the world feels heavy. Every one of us carries a light inside. For some, it shines bright, for others, it flickers faintly. But even the faintest light can guide someone through darkness. When you rise above your pain, when you refuse to let life make you bitter, you become that light. A reminder to others that healing is possible, that kindness still exists, that hope is not lost. We often underestimate the impact of our presence. A kind word, a gentle smile, a story shared at the right time. These small gestures can change someone's entire day, maybe even their life. You never know who's watching you silently, drawing strength from your courage. You never know whose heart you're healing just by being yourself. I remember when I began sharing my story. I didn't do it to inspire, I did it to survive. Speaking about my pain helped me breathe again. But soon, people began reaching out, telling me how my words gave them hope, how they saw themselves in my struggle. And that's when I realized something profound. Your story might be someone else's survival guide. The light you carry was never meant only for you. It was given to you so you could ignite others, so you could remind them that even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise again. We don't have to have it all figured out to be the light. We just have to be willing to shine through our imperfections. Being the light doesn't mean you're always strong, always smiling, or always okay. It means you show up authentically, bravely, honestly, even when it's hard. It means you lead with compassion instead of judgment, love instead of fear. It means you understand that by lifting others, you rise too. So, if you've ever wondered whether your life has meaning, let me tell you, it does. Every time you choose kindness over anger, forgiveness over resentment, hope over despair, you are being the light. Every time you share your truth, comfort someone in pain, or simply hold space for another soul, you are illuminating the world. And when you become the light, you no longer walk alone. You help others find their way too. Because in the end, life is not just about surviving, it's about shining. And maybe, just maybe, your light will be the miracle someone else has been praying for.